Hey YouTube friends. Alright, in today's video we're going to be looking at turmeric and ginger. In my food forest here I'm growing turmeric in ground, but I'm also growing it in containers. Yeah, so look at the beautiful turmeric here. So you might think you need like a large space to actually start growing both turmeric and ginger, but in fact you only need small areas to grow a lot of turmeric and ginger. All right, so that's what our video is going to be about today. All right, so let me just show you. This is the shampoo ginger here. That's I think that's green turmeric over there. I think this is the green and the black turmeric here. Similar looking leaves, and this is also, I think, green and black turmeric here. All right, so the question we're gonna ask, why grow ginger and turmeric in containers? The reason, I like growing both ginger and turmeric. This is my ginger and turmeric garden here. That's all in containers. So let's get back to one of the reasons I like growing turmeric and ginger in containers is that they don't need a lot of space. And I'm showing you the proof right here. We're just at the side of my house. This wall here, containers on the other side. These plants can grow, turmeric and ginger grow underneath the soil. So in fact, you're growing your harvest beneath the soil, not on top, not all this lush green. You could probably use the greenery on top for different stuff. So we have different varieties of turmeric right here. We have some ginger here. Every year we grow this. Every year I do a video and show you guys what's going on here at the same time. So, and containers make both turmeric and ginger easy to grow. If you have poor soil in your yard, like, suppose you're not doing like me, chop and drop, all the other stuff that we do to grow in ground, and you have poor sandy soil or maybe clay soil, which clay soil has its benefits. You can definitely grow in containers like what I'm doing right here. This is not because I have poor soil or anything. This is because I want to actually just utilize every space in my garden, in the yard. So this is a nice way to utilize it, using containers on both sides and growing one of my favorite rhizomes. So if you have limited space, this video is for you. You can put these containers on your patio. You could put them anywhere, any small spaces. You could get us even smaller containers and you could actually grow. All right, let me show you this container right here. Look how small it is, but it's wide enough for me to just throw a bunch of rhizomes in there and start growing stuff. You can plant just one container with ginger. I have multiple here, but you could plant one container with ginger right here. This is ginger here. And look what's growing in this container here. You could have the same size container in your balcony. And look how much ginger we're gonna harvest from this. Not today, but further down the year. And look at the amount of, you've seen videos of we harvesting turmeric. One of these small containers. Look, I'm growing turmeric in these small containers too. So I'm utilizing every container I have to just keep growing. It's a way for you to experiment too. You could actually look at the beautiful turmeric flower. You could experiment. This is an easy way for you to experiment. Like I'm experimenting right now too with different soil type. Like I have a different soil type in this container, and some reason look at the growth here. Different soil type here with these in this container, but look at the growth. You could experiment. It's a perfect place for you to experiment. Just use different soil type, different soil you might purchase from the big box store, and then you're gonna see what actually really works for you. I don't believe there's only one way to grow something. I believe you could grow stuff in different ways. Different ways. The experiment, I say, your garden is your space of experiment. You're gonna experiment there, and you're gonna learn a lot from experimenting and paying attention. That's one of the key things. While you're experimenting, you're keenly paying attention. Let's go down here. Yeah, see all that greenery right here? Let's show it the turmeric. See those rhizomes pushing up right here? Look at this. This is a new one that's sprouting. Your garden is your place to experiment and just see what happens. Just keep experimenting and you're gonna get some beautiful results. You know, get some that's not so beautiful, but you're gonna be learning a lot from that process. You don't need this complicated setup. It's a simple containers. You add some soil, and but one thing I will say though, if you're gonna grow turmeric, kind of get a container that's wide. You see this? Oh, these are wide. You know, these taupe. Yeah, this also is a wide container. See right here? Because the rhizomes like to spread. So you want to give them all that space to actually spread across in that container. And that's how you're going to actually get some beautiful, healthy looking rhizome. And the container necessarily don't need to be deep. Look at this container right here. This is deep, but I'm experimenting. The container could be, look at the size of this. It could be a container simple like that. And you're going to grow some of the most beautiful rhizomes you have ever probably grown. Just remember, the rhizomes are growing beneath the soil. Now right here, see that? You could smell the turmeric right here. So this is going to spread across and spread down at the same time. But preferably, you get a wide container to actually grow your turmeric and ginger. You know, as I say, we have space in the food forest, but we utilize everything that we have here in order to grow as much food as possible. I want you to know though, when you're planting your turmeric and ginger, there's one key thing to remember. Ginger and turmeric love moisture. Keep that soil moist. Let's go down in this container right here. If you see, that soil is moist. Look at it. Moist. Keep the soil moist at all times. Yeah. And when we say keeping the soil moist, we're not just saying this wet, soggy soil. No, you want a well-drained container, put holes in the bottom, and just the soil moist, and you have well-drained containers, and you can be all right growing these rhizomes. As you see, look, all of this, guys, let's spread it across, right? All of this right here is containers. Yeah. So even though I have a beautiful food forest here, I utilize containers as well, right here. And we have turmeric growing on this side also. We have shampoo ginger growing on this side also in containers. We have peppers in containers too. So it's not just a turmeric, we have other stuff growing in containers as well. Let's go over here now to the ginger. We tell you the type of container we're looking for, but let's look at our ginger here. Ginger, when you're planting your ginger, I like to start with, for me, I replant stuff that I grow over the years. So these ginger here been here for the past 5 years. I just keep replanting, recycling, save the healthiest rhizomes when I do the harvest, and I just replant, keep the soil moist, not soggy, and you're gonna end up with some beautiful ginger. You could leave them on the countertop and they start budding out, then you could plant them. For me, I just drop them in the soil right away, like the same day harvest. Sometimes I plant the new ones, and they take a little while when you do that to actually start pushing. Might get you a little worried why my ginger is not pushing, but it's gonna eventually push, and you're gonna get some beautiful, look at this ginger, guys, beautiful. So we're getting a lot of rain, and this is a big plus for my ginger, because it's enjoying the moisture that it's getting. Okay, I say you want to keep the soil moist, not soggy, to get healthy looking rhizome, fat, they absorb that water. Healthy rhizomes. I think too, when you're planting your ginger, don't plant it too deep. Like if you notice, you could see my ginger popping up here. I planted about maybe an inch and a half down in the soil, and that's it. Like here in Florida, we have a huge advantage. Okay, ginger love our warm, beautiful weather that we get, and we get a lot of rain this time of the year. So there's a big plus side growing it here in Florida. So I say you could grow it in your containers just like me. All right, let's go on to the turmeric. Turmeric is similar. Plant it about an inch deep, and you're gonna get healthy looking turmeric. Let me just show you something quick. Yeah, I just found, let me show you something. Look at this in this container. I just found a little piece of turmeric in the house that I missed. This is like maybe a week and a half ago. I put in this container, and look at the beauty that we get in. This is on my Etsy store, so that's I'm putting these to just give people a jump start on their turmeric, growing. Look, you could see more here. We have these containers, more here. right here. So, and similar to ginger, wide containers, plant about 1.5 inches deep, a lot of moisture, but not soggy soil. And you know, you can also look. You could also look like an ornamental, but 2-3 months after that, you get one of the healthiest rhizomes you probably could ever harvest from your turmeric and ginger. All right, let's go down here. Let's talk about the soil in our containers. I said, for my soil, if you look at it, it's loomy. Look at it. It's not. And the soil I've been using in these containers, the same soil I've been using for the past 5-6 years. What I did, I replenished the soil with rabbit manure, yeah, and this is the result we get every year. We get this healthy, look at this guy, healthy, soil that's probably beaming with life, even though they're in containers, because also there's some nice size holes. The worms could actually get up in the bottom and enjoy the process. You're helping these plants to just grow healthy. I said rabbit manure is one of my big things I use here. I don't use nothing from outside. Everything here, guys, is totally organic. My food forest is full circle. What full circle is, whatever grow in the food forest, stay in the food forest, and feed the food forest. That's what the process here. Let's go over the watering again. Remember, you need to water your turmeric and ginger regularly. Once the soil is well drained, you don't want water logging soil. That's gonna rotten the rhizomes. You want the soil need to stay moist but well drained. Water your turmeric and ginger regularly. In Florida, we get a lot of rains, so we don't have to worry about it. So pay attention to the soil. Pay attention to the soil that you're using. That play a key role. And as I do your experiments, plant with different soil type in different containers, do some experiment and see what actually works best if you have the space and the containers to do that. And here in Florida during the hotter months, containers can dry out. And when them dry out, this is what I do. Let me just show you. I have water catchment. Rainwater here. We have a couple more around the house. Catch these water in these buckets. And all right, one more thing before we end this video. Sunlight. How much sunlight do my turmeric need? I find that when the turmeric is in direct sunlight in Florida, maybe in northern states you could let it get the direct sunlight here, but in the Florida heat is a little bit different than what you guys get up there. I leave mine to get, like, this is it's 2 o'clock now, and it's getting that evening sun right now. You get shade at morning, shade until after 12. And I've been doing this for the longest, 5-6 years, and these two have been loving that partial shade and that evening, the evening sun that comes out. Yep, so that's another tip. We're gonna say again, you don't need a big garden. You understand? You don't need a big garden to grow as much food as possible. Use your balcony. Use containers. You don't need a traditional garden bed. You can grow ginger and turmeric in containers. You can even grow your herbs in containers. You can grow vegetables in containers, guys. So any small space, utilize the small space, and just do it. You could do it. Just add any little container you have, put some holes in it, add some soil in it, drop something in it, guys. If you have children, this is a great way to get them involved with small containers. Give them a piece of ginger. That's why I started gardening. When I was like 7, 8, my dad gave me a piece of ginger and told me, oh, plant it here. I planted it in my garden, and that's when I fall in love with growing. From that piece of ginger he gave me to actually plant in the garden. I watched that ginger grow, and it grew big and nice, and then we actually harvest it. That was like one of the best feelings. So if you have kids, get the kids involved in growing turmeric and ginger. It's very easy to grow, so they won't be disappointed. Just show them how to put it in the container, let them do it themselves, and just watch the process. And they take care of it, and eventually you're gonna have some young gardeners coming up for the future that's gonna keep this going by growing your own food, growing it organically, and they know where food come from at the same time. Yep. Oh, if you're telling yourself you don't have enough space to grow, or you don't have a big food forest or a big backyard like this, now guys, you could do it in containers. And let me show you even more containers that I'm growing in. Look, I'm growing, look at this, guys, yam in containers right here. Yeah, so you run through my food forest, there's some container gardening going as well. So grab a container. Let me show you some other stuff I have in containers. Look, we got figs. Look at the fig growing in a container. Yep, So, as I said, grab a container, throw some soil in it, and just start growing. So, yep. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe. Yeah. Also tell your friends, share it with your friends. Yeah, share it with your family members. Yeah. And just show them how easy it is to grow turmeric and ginger in container. Thank you all for watching. I'll be blessed with peace of happiness and kindness. One love. See you guys in the next video.